This is the second of the new series of records in which Oswald Mosley discusses another great problem with you in your own home. Listen to him and then form your own clear opinion. Oswald Mosley.
Talking about Rhodesia on the 8th of November 1965 is certainly to speak while the situation is still uncertain. But very clear principles can be stated which would have prevented us ever getting into this trouble. They can yet save us from any disaster if they are supported by the British people. Another problem closely related to the Rhodesian question is coloured immigration into this country. Here indeed the issues are becoming all too clear to our people. We believe that we are in these troubles because the principle adopted by our government and all the old parties has been wrong from start to finish. That principle is multiracialism. This system of mixing people up together, however unsuited they are to be mixed and however much they dislike it. We oppose the multiracial policy not because we are racialists. We are not. We are nothing of the kind. Racialism means setting one race against another, or putting one race on top of another. We are against both these things. In fact, we oppose a multiracial policy precisely because it does these things and results in racial antagonism. This attempt to have a mixed society has never yet worked. In the Congo, it led to the most horrible atrocities and ended with blacks governing whites. In Kenya, it has resulted in blacks governing whites, so far with nothing worse than most of the whites feeling badly treated. Even in America, it has caused trouble which we certainly do not want to import into Britain. The Rhodesians have seen what happened quite close to them, and they are not now willing to be pushed under a black government. The Constitution, which they were granted by British government in 1961, and the signature of British government should surely not be repudiated every 4 years, at least postponed black government for a long time. Now British government wants to speed up the arrival of black government, while the Rhodesians, after recent experience, are more and more doubtful about having it at all. No wonder you have trouble. So I want now to persuade you that the way out is the policy I first stated in 1948. It is not to mix the different races, but to separate them out and give each a fair chance to make its own civilization. It is true that in Africa it takes time to do this. You cannot immediately divide into all white or all black territories. It is true that you must have temporary anomalies, like large black populations governed by smaller white populations. But after all, that's not such a terrible thing when everyone admits, even the multiracialists, that the black population in Rhodesia are not anything like fit for immediate self-government. What matters is to accept the principle that part of Africa should be under white government and part under black government. Then you can begin seriously to organize the future. This problem is far from insoluble, because Africa is practically an empty continent. 18 to the square mile as against 700 in England and 500 in Europe as a whole. There is plenty of room for all. Let us see the whole problem and then act in a great way. Let us plan and organize for the future. We suggest south of the Sahara about 1/3 to the white governments and about 2/3 to the black governments. South Africa, Rhodesia and the Portuguese territories under white governments and the rest under black. Slowly the people throughout Africa can be sorted out until white and black states live side by side in peace and friendship. The place of black labor in the white states can gradually be taken by white labor, and blacks can be trained by whites in the period of transition until they can build their own civilization in their own states. Is not this all more sensible and more humane than forcing our white people under the rule of immature black people until the result is the bloody chaos we have seen elsewhere? That is a betrayal of our own people, and it does no good to other people. Why this policy of folly and betrayal? The basic reason is the attempt of the worst financial interests in international capitalism to exploit cheap labor in these mixed societies for greater profit. They have done it for long abroad. They now seek even to do it at home. Jamaica, for instance, was ruined when our government cut down our sugar purchase and bought sugar from Cuba instead. Then these poor people were driven here to Britain by unemployment and starvation. It is not their fault. We say, reverse the whole policy and send them home to good jobs, homes to which they will like to return. That is not racialism. It is a fair deal for all, for white and black. I have held a press conference with colored people beside me, saying that they supported that policy because they wanted to go home. Who does not want to go home if he can get a fair deal at home? We are saving these people from victimization here as sweated labor, at the same time as we save our own people from overcrowding in our cities. We want to save our own people from the creation of fresh slums today and from the threat of unemployment tomorrow. Certainly we put our own people first. Any British government should do that, just as any father of a family should put his own children first. This is not to be a racialist. It is to be a normal, healthy man. We are not against other peoples. We will help them. But we do say, Britain first.
On the reverse side, you will hear the reaction of a great British audience at a national meeting in Kensington Town Hall.